Hello. It's good to see you all again. So the last few videos have been very bot oriented, so this might come as a shock to some of you guys, but the last not full week, but like 3-4 days, I've been experimenting and enjoying and having a lot of success with SKARNER support. And you might be, what, SKARNER support? But I've seen your former streams and you said SKARNER could not work as support. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. The reasons I thought SKARNER support couldn't work is because, well, his E ability generally is hard to really use in an aggressive way. It's not as consistent. So I thought your laning phase would be very, very bad. What I didn't account for was how much damage SKARNER's Q does. SKARNER's Q, when you throw it, will do at level 1 with the right rune page 150 damage on a 10-second cooldown. It's very easy to land and hit it, and it's so consistent. So you have a support that's melee, that's tank, that basically is guaranteed to get prio as long as you can actually hit your ranged Q because of the damage it does. To showcase what rune page I'm currently going with, it will be showed on screen here. We are going for Arcane Comet, as it just does so much damage. It's a reliable way of getting full prio of the lane. It scales fine into the mid game. You're buying full tank items, so you don't really need to be too worried about like tank stats like Aftershock and all of these things, right? You get mana flow band, so you have an easier time just spamming the abilities you want to spam. You get Transcendence. Here you could also opt into Celerity if you want a bit more movement speed, but I like Transcendence because ability haste on SKARNER is king. It's so good. Like, all your abilities, when they get low enough, like, you basically just start spamming CC abilities and damage abilities on the enemy team. And it just feels amazing. Then you have Scorch that will apply on every Q or W you land on the enemy team with Dark and Comet. And this is like the bread and butter to a lot of the damage. Then in the secondary tree, I've been experimenting with both Resolve and Domination. With Resolve, I've been going Conditioning and Overgrowth, full on tank. It feels really good, but it takes some time for it to go live, right? It's like in the mid game around like, well, Conditioning is 12 minutes in. I think Overgrowth will around 16, 17, 18 minutes is the normal place where you get it upgraded. What I felt feels a bit better, because it unlocks into a way better support item, is you go Ingenious Hunter, which allows you to go Slay, which just feels way better than any of the other support items you can choose from. Then you go Cheap Shot, because, well, all your abilities will either slow or CC, so it's very easy to proc Cheap Shot off cooldown, especially in team fights, but also in the early game. You will like basically run up your WQ or you will QW, and it just procs all Arcane Comet, Scorch, Cheap Shot. So much damage. Down here, again, ability haste is king, and all your abilities does damage off of HP, so you don't really have to care too much about getting AD. You don't need attack speed because you rarely get to auto attack. You just basically throw abilities. Then here, there's two options. You can either opt for movement speed. I prefer the movement speed, or you can opt for scaling health. This will obviously make your champion a bit stronger damage-wise and tankier, but I like having the extra movement speed when you're playing a melee support, especially during the early game. Just when you activate the Q, it takes like a bit before you're actually allowed to throw it. So it's nice to be able to stay within range with that extra movement speed, so they can't run away. Then here you have two options. You either go for flat health. That's if you expect to fight a lot early game, or you go for scaling health. That's when you don't expect to fight a lot early game, because obviously the scaling health will be outscale the flat health by level 7, right? So this is the rune page I've been having a lot of success with. The reason we're making this guide right now is because majority of information and guides I see out there is trying to recommend you all to go Halo Blades on SKARNER, which makes no sense in my head, because whenever I play SKARNER support, it is so rare I actually get to auto attack, because auto attacking puts myself in a lot of danger, where just throwing the rock, which is the big damage part, because the first two auto attacks on your Q is only like a bonus 10 or 15 damage. That's it. So you get like no extra damage. It's the third one that does the big percent physical damage, 15%. So you don't need Halo Blades to get the third one off. You just activate it and throw the Q, and it's very easy to land, right? So I wanted to make this guide to make sure that you guys, well, take the right rune page, right? When it comes to the build, I have been trying a lot of different things, but the thing I've been having the most success with is hopefully we start with support item and double pot, right? Then after this, one of the first resets we want to get, if we can, is gonna be cooldown boots. As we mentioned earlier, ability haste is king on this champion. And then we start opting into Kindle Gem items. This can be Locket, this can be Knight's Vow. Locket is generally what I rush now that I have Ingenious Hunter. Then I get something like Knight's Vow if I have a fed carry that I want to peel for. Then If they have magic resist, we up into something like Abyssal Mask. So here we have 3 Kindle Gem items, all really amazing. If they have a Fed carry that you want to stun lock as much as possible and be able to retain be as strong against as possible, then you go Anathemas. Realistically, this is very much gonna be the normal build we see. All of these items all built off of Kindle Gem, which is insanely gold efficient item, with all of them having abilities. It just feels amazing, right? If you do have games where you're getting a lot of gold, and you know for a fact that you don't have anyone on your team that wants to buy Lathyrus Torment, then Lathyrus can be a very cool item you can build on SKARNER that will amplify his damage by a lot, because his Q or his W is gonna apply this to everyone. He has a really high AP ratio on both his W and his R, so you get out a lot out of the AP, but it also gives HP, right? So it just feels really good as well. But make sure you only try to build this item when you know no one else on your team will go Lathyrus Torment, and when you're ahead of the gold curve. Because if you're not ahead of the gold curve, it won't feel amazing. But yeah, this is gonna be the build you will see all the time. If we look at my own OPG here, this is the account I've been playing SKARNER on a lot right now. And then you will see here, this is the account we are playing SKARNER on a lot. It's currently master 100 LP. We are playing it up. We are winning a lot of games, as you can see. And you can see every game it's just like it's Slay with Logit, Knight's Vow, Slay with Logit, Abyssal Mask, and like Anathema. So it's the same every game, right? And you can see some games you'll go this. And one of the most surprising things, if we go back to the between tab here, is when we look at the games we are playing, how much damage is being done by SKARNER support. Nearly always topping up in the damage, doing as much damage as the rest of your team. Because for whatever reason, this champion isn't just tanky CC bot, he also does a frick ton of damage, which just feels amazing. He always does so much damage. Even in losses like this where I died 15 times, if we look at the damage, 32,000 damage, right? He always does so much damage, right? So it's a tanky support that does a lot of CC and just hurts a lot. Super fun. Now I have a few tips and tricks I kind of want to showcase for this guide as well. So let's just jump into that so I can showcase. It's mainly just revolving around the E, but I also want to showcase how to use the Q during the laning phase, right? When we level up SKARNER's abilities, it's very important you start 1 point Q at level 1, then you go 1 point W level 2, 1 point E level 3, then you start maxing your W. This is the ability we max out at level 9. Then we max out E ability, then we max out Alt, and the last ability we max on SKARNER is going to be your Q ability. We do not max Q, because Q, as we can see here, yes, it goes down in cooldown, which is quite nice, but it doesn't go up in damage. The percent damage is flat. It's just always 15% max health physical damage. The slow doesn't go up either. It is only the cooldown that goes down and the attack speed that goes up, but we rarely auto attack, so we don't care about the attack speed. The only thing we would care about is the cooldown, but as you will see as we start showcasing the different things here, when you click Q here, right, it's now 10 seconds, right? And then you click E, and then you throw it, you can see that it actually is down to 3 seconds, right? So this is generally how you will do your combo, right? Then you E through a wall, you will E into a person, and then you throw the Q, and you can see it's down to 3 seconds, not at 10 seconds, because the Q cooldown starts tracking the minute you actually start the ability, not when you finish the ability. So when you have an ability that's 10 seconds, but you can actually use it 3 seconds after you have used it, you don't need that cooldown. Now let's get some dummies spawned here, because there's one cool thing I want to showcase here. A lot of people will think they will have to do like this, right? And they will do like that. What I want to showcase you guys is that you can do this, and you can see here, right? We are now in front of him, but we can click E backwards, and it instantly does a 360, right? And we drag the dummy in, and then if you have ult as well, then you can drag the person even further, right? So you don't have to be behind them to do this, right? And you can see how easy it is, right? You just need to make sure that some part of your, like this, right? Some part of your model is within this person's, is within the dummy's model as well. So that's one of them, right? Then you can, of course, something like this. If we just look at the ult here, you can see how this, and then instantly you will be able to E. So if we look at the combo very quickly, right? and then you can instantly E. So you oftentimes want to not E into ult, but you want to see if you can get your ult off. The way we do this realistically is we chase the person, right? Then we click E, not E, W, and then we do this, and then we do this, right? And this way we stun a person for 4 or 5 seconds. And there's barely any counter to it. And you can't really run away because you will do Q like this, and then Q or W to slow, and then you E or R or whatever. And it's just that simple. When you look at the normal way the laning phase is gonna go, right? If we go back and we try to track this again here. If we look at how the minion wave is here, right? The minion wave is gonna be like this, and the enemy team is gonna be like this. You will oftentimes do your Q, and then you don't have an angle to throw it, so you auto-attack a minion, and then you auto-attack a minion again, and now you're like, okay, ranged minion. We always try to just hit the Q on the ranged minion, because the Q, just like with a Karma Q, has a huge ass splash. So you just have to hit something that's close to the enemy champion for it to actually apply on top of that champion. But yeah, that's enough of rambling from me. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about anything, just let me know in the comment field. I'll make sure to answer everything I can and try to explain everything as well as I can in the comment field. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.